place. No matter what you're doing,
Hang on, okay,
please stop and lend me your full attention. There are currently 80 of you in the building. In 8 hours, most of you will be dead. Your chance of survival increases by following my orders.
Welcome back to the Hiding for Horrors podcast, where we review horror movies and horror franchises. I'm Mark.
I'm Tawan.
I'm Elion.
And today we're reviewing The Belko Experiment, released in 2017, written by James Gunn and directed by Greg McLean. Elion, can you give the people the plot summary?
An ordinary day at the office becomes a horrific quest for survival when 80 employees at the Belko Corporation in Bogota, Colombia, learns that they are pawns in a deadly experiment. Trapped inside their building, a voice over intercom tells the frightened staffers that 2 workers must be killed within 30 minutes. When another ultimatum follows, friends become enemies and new alliances take shape, as only the strongest will remain alive at the end.
Oh, The Belko Experiment. I kind of remember when this first came out. It was during the whole, I think I like the height of the Purge craze. And I saw this one in theaters because I thought it was going to be like a Purge-esque movie, just set in an office setting, which is kind of what it is. Overall opinions, I think it's a decent movie. It just has several sequences and characters and character motivations and little small editing things that annoy me. But outside of that, I think it's a decent movie.
I remember. I didn't go to the movies to see this when this came out, but I remember when it did, and I wanted to see it. So I remember seeing it after. I might have downloaded it or something later on, but I watched it back then, and I remember liking it. But watching it now, I was not bored per se, but I was kind of like, this concept could have been something more, and it just felt like the concept of the movie trumped everything else, and nothing else kind of came from it. Yeah, like, I don't know, like, I just felt like watching it now, and I was like, okay, yeah, they gotta kill each other. They're all like coworkers, blah 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 blah. But nothing really like came out of that. And yes, I mean, it is just kind of one of those stories where, you could just put people in a situation to see what happens, but I feel as though we didn't really get much from it, if you get what I'm saying.
What about you, Alion?
This is the first time I've actually heard of the movie or even seen the movie. I was When I was reading the summary, I was actually really intrigued. I was like, okay, this sounds really good. I thought it was gonna be like a really good psychological horror, but I don't know how to explain it per se, but I felt like they didn't give enough background on like why. I saw the full movie and it was just like, why? Like like I said, I know it's like an experiment and all this stuff, but it was just like there were so many things happening at once, so many storylines happening at the same time. Some of them didn't make sense. Some parts felt like they were emptied or like, they were cut off, where like I'm like, what happens after? I was like, the concept itself was good, but overall the story itself was very confusing. A little, like, not the whole story, just like snippets where I just felt like some parts were just like overtly quick, but then there were some parts where like it was overtly slow and not needed.
Yeah, I get that. Like, I get what both of you are saying. Uh, There are definitely like parts of the movie that kind of dragged along, and I do feel like the tension wasn't there really. And I agree with you, Twan. I mean, I agree with you, Elian. I feel like if we would have knew or had more time with the characters and got to know them more, it would have at least gave us someone to root for and someone to feel for. I mean, they kind of gave us that, but it's like the character they wanted us to focus on. I felt no connection to him,
No,
and
because at the end,
his
sorry,
fiance or girlfriend was annoying. Like,
but on top of that,
stop.
it was just like they were just. I don't know how you guys felt. Like the beginning, it just felt like they were just trying to be like, okay, this happened and that's it, and they just move on to like what's happening. I just felt like there was no, like you said, there was no connection. There was nothing. It was like very minute storytelling or like even introductions to these people. Like we had to like kind of figure it out along the way and everything.
Yeah, I felt that, and I felt like this kind of movie coming out after Purge. Like, yeah, Purge is a movie where there's just like people killing each other and you just watch the bodies pile up. But like there's always some like deep character story within it. So it's not just like some gore fest, like shoot 'em up movie. And this all this was a shoot 'em up movie. Like I felt no stakes. And I guess there was a love story going on, but like I wasn't really into that couple, so I didn't really give a fuck if either of them died or lived or whatever.
Mhm.
And then the ending pissed me off just as much as actually, you know what, Tuan? The ending of this movie gave me the same reaction that I had when we reviewed ATM a few years ago.
Mm,
Remember how ATM kind of ended the same way? And I remember back then I was like, if that movie was like the opening 15 minutes, just like to give us an introduction to the world and to what's going on, and it had like a bigger, grander plot going on afterwards. That's kind of how I felt with this.
I got you.
That's yeah, like I like this movie felt honestly, it was too long, but it was also too short. Like the plot they gave us felt rushed and felt half-assed. And after watching the movie, every time I've seen this movie, because I've seen it several times over the years, I always felt like something is off. And then I finally watched like a little behind the scenes of the movie because as many times as I've seen this movie, I've never realized that it was James Gunn. So like that's where like the quippiness comes in and the other stuff comes in. But then the direction was given like if the script was giving I'm supposed to be terrified, the direction and the cinematography was given comedic. And if when the direction and cinematography was giving trauma, the script was giving slapstick. Like they were
Yeah.
at war with each other, and it was pissing me off.
No, yeah, I get what you mean there. Um, it definitely was like a clash of tone, and I guess maybe is due to the fact that James Gunn didn't direct it because he usually handles his tones in his movies pretty well. For like when most of what he does, and this movie kind of gives the feeling that he was supposed to actually like probably be the director, but maybe he just couldn't do it. Maybe there was probably a reason why he wasn't able to. But we still got his script with it, and the other director just had to work with that. And it felt like just a clash of tone in what was going on with it. And I think that's kind of what caused those issues there. Because James Gunn is, I mean, the Guardian movies, like Suicide Squad, the fucking Scooby Doo movies, like all of those, like he does good with those different like tones in his stuff. And I believe that maybe that's probably why it felt a bit off with this. And why we kind of got what we got, because like the scene where they were deciding if they were going to like shoot up like who they were going to kill, and they had like the music playing in the background. It was kind of like
Can I have all your attention, please? I'm gonna need everyone with children under the age of 18 to step forward.
Why?
Mary, you can't do this!
but the direction was given like, oh, well, this is like straight up like horror movie type shit.
Like it was given like, oh, this shit's fucked up, but
Yeah.
it was also given whimsical all at the same time.
Yeah, so it definitely was like a clash in that, and that felt like more a director choice than a writer, like a writing choice. Honestly, it felt like there wasn't
Yeah,
a collaboration there.
there was no cohesion between the direction and what was on the page from what was being shot.
Yeah.
Definitely. But let's talk about some of those scenes and let's talk about some of the kills also. Let's just mix them together. And I want to start off with like one of the dumbest scenes in the entire movie. Because I said that we didn't have a character to connect with, but we kind of did. I was rooting for Danny because the old girl
Oh my
was
god.
in
Please
situation after
not my.
situation
Oh my fucking god!
to hop off the elevator and push the button after you've been hiding this entire time to get shot in the fucking head.
I honestly thought she was gonna be like a final girl. Nah, I mean she lasted longer than the other guy, that's for sure. But
That
still,
was a twist that pissed me off, and for the rest of the movie, I was like, "That fucking guy is going to be the survivor," and I was upset for the rest of the movie, and I somehow forget it every time I watch this movie. I forget that she dies. And then it's around the same halfway point that I remember, like, oh shit! Once she gets in the elevator with that guy, I'm like, fuck, she's
Mhm.
gonna die at the end. And every time I remember it, I get mad for the rest of the movie because she did everything right. She was hiding, she was fighting back, she was kicking ass, and her one bad misjudgment, and she dies. Like that scene upsets me every single time because there's no reason for that.
Yeah. I I felt the same. And honestly, I thought it was gonna go like differently with her character. High key, I thought she was gonna make it to the end, but it was gonna be played for a joke that because she was the new employee that like they forgot about her type shit. Like something like that because she was new.
I would have liked that. Like they could, because they had mentioned about her getting her tag at the beginning of the movie. So if it was
Yeah.
like a little oversight, it would have been okay.
Yeah, like I thought that probably would have been kind of funny, but like just all that at the end, it's almost like why did we focus on her at all? Like she could have just blended into the background with the other people. Like there, like it
She
just
could.
felt
She
out of
had
place.
a bunch of like solo scenes without anybody else.
Yeah,
Look,
and
we saw her more than we saw the girlfriend.
we
Why?
did, and it wasn't even like where it's not like a payoff or anything. Like I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, but it was like I feel like that just existed to piss us off because there was nothing else there with that. That only existed to piss the person watching it off
I
because
think so because
you
we
know,
literally watched her survive and do everything right. So we're all set up to believe that she's gonna make it. So they pull that twist just to like upset us and to like subvert expectations. It's like, no, you fucked up the rewatch value. I get mad every time.
yeah, and it's never like I never didn't think that that dude was gonna not make it to the end, but I at least thought she was just gonna survive. Like I didn't think we were gonna like somehow pivot to her because we were obviously focusing on the main guy, his girlfriend. But when we were with like Danny and her singing, I was like, okay, she'll survive. Like we may not be focusing on her, but she'll be the only other person making it out of here. But we were wrong.
You know what I would prefer? Like some like it would have made me mad, but like a little post credit scene, like we think she died. You know, we forget that she's in the elevator and then he kills that guy. It goes off, and then we get a little post credit scene of her hopping her ass out the elevator and then just like walking off. I would have been okay with that. But her dying,
But you know what? I just thought about it just now. Like, what if, like you said, a post credit scene, but she gets out and everything, and when he's flipping all the switches, her bomb goes off. I'm sorry, that would have been funnier.
okay, I would have been okay with that too. I would have.
That
just say that.
that actually would have been funny as fuck. Now that I'm thinking about it, because like we would have thought she got out, yeah, she good, and then next thing you know, boom.
I would have been okay with that anything but what we got because she fought so hard.
Yeah, there's some of the other ways they could have went about that, but okay.
The other scenes that made me mad, I forgot the character's name, but it's James Gunn's brother. Brother, I think.
Sean Gunn,
Yeah, Sean Gunn. I forgot who his character was, but
I
his
believe
character
it's.
was it Marty?
I
Was it
believe. Yes,
Marty?
you're right. You're right. It was Marty.
Okay, okay, yeah. Marty seeds. There's always that one person in every crisis who's like, "Don't do this. They're bugged us."
Hey! It's in the fucking water, man.
What is?
Some sort of fucking psychotropic fucking chemical or something, man. It's making us all on fucking edge.
We're on edge because they just killed 4 people, Marty.
Sir, you watched this lady's head blow off right next to you, and you're talking about mind games. Don't drink the water. What the water got to do with bitches spontaneously combusting next to me? What are you talking about right now? He was pissing me off. He was pissing me off. But just to circle back to him being like coming up with a smart plan of removing the bombs from people who didn't get their
No,
head
that was.
exploded, I
But I
was
wonder.
like,
I
damn.
still want. I wonder, like, if they were able to see everything, why didn't they stop that? But okay.
Well, because they were dead, and I'm pretty sure, like, I don't think throwing the bombs would have caused them to go off. Because if doing that, I don't think that would have worked. Because, like, what if somebody fell and hit their head hard? Would that make the bomb go off? So I think it had to be like specifically the flip had to be switched. The switch had to be flipped for the bombs to go off. So I don't think they were too concerned about that happening.
True. True.
But that's just me helping the movie out because that wasn't really explained.
That also is true.
I remember watching it and I was like, he got those bombs in his pocket. And those fucking guards are like roughing him around. Like, is too much friction gonna cause him to just boom? But you know, that didn't happen. um Another scene for me, when that one guy was like, don't call me a pervert. I'm like, sir, but you are.
Don't you call me pervert. Chill out.
No,
You
like
are a
literally,
pervert. He was
like you literally were.
I was so happy when when she bashed his head in because he was pissing me off the entire time. He was doing too much. Like,
I was like, not the doctor from Scrubs.
right? You're the funny one. You what I'm saying that stood up for you. Thank you.
Oh, when the one that for me was because I almost forgot about him. I was trying to remember the character's name, but when they took out the security guard who was trying to stop them from getting the weapons, I'm like, why they do that to bro? Like,
Keys.
You want the fucking keys?
like he didn't deserve that. Like, man was just trying to
The
do.
one black person I remember
Oh
seeing
God,
that got stabbed up.
exactly. Like
But I
they
low key saw that coming. I was like, I don't see no other black person in this movie. He ain't gonna
yeah.
make it. I kind of clocked that.
Unfortunately, you are not wrong. Yeah, most of the other people besides like, the guy who was the doctor of Scrubs and um like some of the people that we focused on, everybody else just got popped. Anybody who had everybody got popped in the end because they forgot one person. Honestly, that was such a not like a not like a cop out, but that was just such an easy way to get rid of people. It was like, oh, you didn't kill one person, so now we got to take out 30 of y'all and then just explode the bombs in your head. So, like, I guess that works, but it just seemed it was kind of giving cop out.
That redhead lady could have went longer than the girlfriend. I had no use for the girlfriend, if I'm being honest. What about you, Elian? What are some scenes and kills stood out for you?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know why, but like you guys were just talking about it when they were saying like, "Oh, it's just an experiment," and then her head pops. I don't know why I found it very satisfactory, just because I'm like, just shut the fuck up because you don't know what you're saying. Um, the pervert, the way he died was so satisfactory to me because I'm like, this bitch literally axed the shit out of him. The ending pissed me off so much. Like, I was happy that he was able to kill them, like the fucking voice guy and all that shit. But at the end, you realize it's not even over yet, and that's what even pissed me off even more. Because I'm like, I hate this shit. I hate it with a fucking passion. I don't know why they killed the black guy. There was no need for that. What else can I say? I feel bad for the old lady. That's all I can feel bad for. I'm like, she didn't do nothing.
Yes, being set on fire with that Molotov cocktail
Oh
that
yeah,
was
that
some
was crazy.
nasty work.
Yeah, I was like,
Also smart on his part. I was like, sir, like I love the ingenuity, but you killed the wrong bitch.
For real.
And also, where did you get a Molotov from?
Right? Where did you? That's why I said I respect ingenuity because where do you get the ingredients from?
I guess when Mike killed Barry, because like it was the only kill we got with a office weapon.
Bro.
There's so much stuff that they showed us that could have possibly been used, or we've probably seen like other horror movies in ways that like they probably could have done that, but there were no other really kills in the movie using like the weapons for around an office that you expect to see. So that kind of was a little whack. Um, like I don't know, bash somebody face in a copier while it makes copies in their face or something like.
Why I was just picturing that with the copier going off and it was like taking little like
Exactly.
I was pitching that the entire time you brought
Yeah, like I don't know. It's so many other things that they could have did there, but just didn't do. And I don't know. It felt like a lack of creativity there because we love some good kills, and they didn't give that to
like
us.
even if the kills are goofy, if they're somewhat like intricate and you can kind of pull it off, we'll give you a pass. But at least try,
Yeah,
because that neck twist kill horrible
CGI was terrible.
CGI bad. I'm like, what video game is this?
I think when I was I forget who said it. I feel like it was probably James A. Janice when I watched the kill count, and he was spot on. He said it was given from Freddy versus Jason.
Oh yeah, he did say that.
And
Yes.
when Freddy stopped that, I mean, when Jason stopped that dude's neck, and I was like, he is so right because I remember that, and that was like 2003, so they got no excuses.
Oh
Facts.
my goodness.
For me, that might have been all the kills because everything else was okay. Get shot, head explosion. There wasn't much creativity that we could have gotten out of this. Actually, you know what? Let me stop. I did forget the dude that got killed in the elevator.
Oh, yeah, the one what was it? He gets fucked up in half. No,
Yeah, like
He got
he tried to
crushed.
crawl out of there, got crushed. I mean, that was that. I mean, we kind of seen that before in different movies, but I mean, it was something else in this
we saw
one.
that in Final Destination, didn't we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she got her head snapped.
So let's move on to the characters. Elion, what are your thoughts on Danny?
You know, this girl, she did what she did was right. Like, you know, she was hiding. She was making sure she was, up for survival. She did what she had to do, and to literally die as the elevator opens is wild.
And the way they framed that scene, you knew she was dead. Like the whole setup of that scene was like,
I was so mad when they killed her because I'm like, are you all fucking serious?
Yeah, I had well, as I kind of mentioned earlier, like she was being smart and everything at first, and as far as like what we were shown for her character, but just that one choice, and but also like of everything to do, I feel like taking the elevator would be the last thing I would do in that scenario, just because we don't know the situation, and we already know they were like like corralling everybody into the first floor anyway to try to off them. So why are we going back down? Like you didn't hear no announcement. Obviously, well, while we know the announcements ain't there to help you, but it tells you a little something. So
but
the choice
also like someone on the elevator was just shooting at you.
exactly.
Why do you think it's safe?
No, you're right. You're right. And I feel the same way because I'm like, why? I just it just seemed like an out of pocket character choice. Like not saying, and it's not even like we were. This was like our main character, or someone we spent a lot of time with. But the amount of time that they gave us with her, they made it seem like she knew what she was doing to try to at least get out of this situation. And for that one decision to be made when it kind of went against what we were shown for the character.
Right? Because I feel like that like the last 3 minutes we saw her wasn't the same character we just watched like survive the entire movie.
For real.
The next few characters I have are all grouped together just because. Why not? So next up, we have Mike and Leandra, the couple at the middle of the love story, in the middle of this already weird, confusing plot. Um, I felt nothing for them romantically. If they were just best friends, if Leandra was Leandre, it would probably would have been better because like the love story felt forced and shoehorned, and I wasn't getting the butterflies vibe. They weren't giving me love that's fated to die. It was very boring. And how did Mike kill a special forces agent? Like, how did he get one up on him and kill him?
No, you're right.
That felt unrealistic. And like, I don't know if it was the acting or the directing or the script, but it wasn't giving me star of the film Final Boy. I was like, why is he here? You know, if
Yeah,
he would have died, see, if he would have died, like jumping in front of the bullet for Leandra, and then Leandra and Danny teamed up to like take out Barry and then take out the Belko people, I'd have been okay with that. Because I had no interest in Mike. They should have blew his head up when he was in the bathroom messing with the explosive.
which is weird because I've seen this actor and other stuff. Like he was in
He was the reason I
uh,
wanted to watch this movie. Because I saw him in Newsroom.
and also he was in 10 Cloverfield Lane and Hush.
Yes. Yes. He was the bad guy in Hush. The whole reason I wanted to see this movie was because of that actor, and I felt let down.
Yeah, it's like he really they didn't give him really anything. But also in general for both of their characters, they kind of like how you said they just weren't giving main character energy, and their relationship wasn't giving relationship. Like nothing was giving. Like, nothing, it was giving empty.
Like I don't even have input on Leandra, honestly.
Yeah, and she started to annoy me because why did she get mad at him when he didn't want to kill? I forget who it was exactly. I think it was the guy who he ended up killing at the end. But she
Hmm.
was like mad at him about that, and I'm like, you're mad because your man
He has morals.
who never killed anybody in his life is doesn't want to kill someone. Like, and then when it came time for you to kill someone, so the other people didn't die, you didn't do it either because she had a chance to kill. I forget the one character's name, but when they were counting down before they got to putting off all the bombs, if she had killed that one guy in front of her who was shooting people downstairs in
Right?
the main room, that would have saved a bunch of other people. But she didn't do that, so 31 other people got popped with the bomb. So um,
Hmm. But she
I was
want to
I was
complain.
confused. I was confused, and say the relationship like wasn't there. Like there wasn't any connection between those two, like whatsoever. Like if they had just said they were good, like you said, they were good friends, I probably would believe that more than a relationship. Um, because a good friendship can feel like a relationship, so they could have made that, but they didn't. They didn't. And it didn't. It didn't really pan out for those two.
Oh shit, unrequited love. He could have been in love with her and she could have paid him dust. Like something. But I meant to mention this during scenes when there was a mention when the movie starts that they sent all the local employees home. So everyone who lives and who is from Colombia, they sent them home. So all the international, like all the foreign workers were there at the office. I felt like that also took out stakes because like what could have flipped this whole movie is that you set it in America and you have this going on, but then you also have like the outside element. There are cops outside. People are ready to storm the building. It's like, make sure the cops don't come inside or everyone dies. You have people, family outside, waiting to see who's coming out, waiting to see what happens. And then we get Mike still as a survivor. But now it looks like he murdered everybody in the fucking building and went crazy. And then Mike is there. I just felt like something like that could have changed the movie because it just felt lost, and I didn't really care about Mike or Leandra. It should have just been it should have been more of something. It just needed something. The overall story needed something.
No, I feel you. That actually would have been cool too.
Mm-hmm. Because it feels like short, like unless something's missing, but it also feels drawn out.
Yeah, which is crazy because I'm pretty sure it's like sub 90 minutes.
It is, but like it feels like something's missing, but it also feels like it's drawn out. What we have is drawn out, and it's not good. If it was
Mhm.
good and entertaining, I wouldn't be mad. That I was like, this is too long, but it's 90 minutes. It's too long. It's 90 minutes of BS. But Elion, what are your thoughts on Barry and Wendell, our murderous duo?
Wendell was just demented. He irritated me. Um, he, like, how do I say this? To be fair, I mean, I was kind of shocked. Firstly, that Barry. I knew that he would like, since he was like in the special armed forces. Like, I knew he was able to kill, but I did find it a little ridiculous that he would die from an office item at the end. Um, Wendell was just deranged. Like he was just like every time like his mentality I felt was like Stu Macher. Uh just because he was just like I don't know, he just
Oh
gave
my
off that.
God, yes.
Okay, so it's not just me. I do see it. It's just like he was just more of like a little follower, or just like he's just a creep. And
I don't know. This is just me thinking about what I would do in a situation. But if the man on the speaker says, the person with the most kills survives, my first thought would be, who the fuck is number one? Let me go kill him. Because if I kill that motherfucker, then I'm closer to being the person with the most kills. If he's dead, then I overtake him.
that is true.
That's where my head went when I heard that. But Wendell's like, nah, let me just chop up these two people who are in front of me right now. Okay, but you kill all of them, you still have to at some point you have to go fight. You still gotta go fight Barry. But I don't think Wendell would have did it. He seemed like a little lapdog who was just like following Barry around or also being a pervert. And I was like, sir,
God.
go kill Barry. Like, I'm sorry, but if it's the three of us, and I know that y'all are ahead of me, y'all gotta go. I'm so sorry. Bye.
Me and President Fitzgerald could have had a talk.
You know what? I could have fixed him. I'm Olivia Pope. I'm gonna fix it.
Get out.
What she say is handled.
Get out. Irritating.
I mean, but old girl tried that. Old girl did try that, and she
She
got
did
her neck
right,
snapped. So,
but she not me
50-50.
though.
Facts, facts, facts. He liked that dark chocolate. She was too light for him. Too much creamer. Here we come. But we're
Oh
moving
shit.
on.
Wendell was annoying me like so much in this, and I guess that kind of fits for the actor because he annoys me in a lot of things. I feel like that's just his mo. Like even in Scrubs, like he was the annoying doctor in Scrubs. So I mean, that kind of checks out for him. So I wasn't even surprised by that. Um, the whole like I'm not a pervert. I'm like, sir, you clearly are a pervert. You are trying to push up on this woman, like like all that work, and I don't know. He just felt very one dimensional. Like he just felt like they just needed somebody as a psychopath, and that was what they went with him. Um, as far as Barry goes, though, he felt like out of mostly anybody, he was doing the most acting. Like I kind of got the vibe that he was, the boss, and when they did say he was like either like a SEAL or in the military somehow, I kind of got that vibe up until the point where it was decided that Mike had plot armor and was just going to kill him, and I was like, oh, okay. I don't know how that works, but yeah, up until that point, he felt like he was doing the most acting out of everybody.
Both characters lost their mind and went deranged. It's just, well, Wendell was like outwardly deranged, outwardly fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Barry was more like the reserved type, like the kind, but they say that CEOs and business people become like they become like they're actually psychopaths. They just they put all of that into the business instead of murdering people. So
Mm-hmm.
I guess they were showing us both sides, but they were both pissing me off in different ways. Like, sir, give me the keys to the arsenal so I can make sure that the weapons are secure. Are you dumb? Am I dumb? Because that's just that's some stupid shit that I like. Are you? No, I'm not giving you the keys to the weapon cabinet. The weapons are secure already. They locked up. Why would I unlock them for you, Barry?
Like, I got this shit. Go handle your job. Go find another way.
Right? Like, oh, let's unsecure the weapons so I can make sure they're secure. Like, get the fuck out of my face,
Like, what do you
please.
mean, sir? What do you mean? They're secured. They're very much secured.
Like,
We don't need y'all. And the next thing you know, they try to burn it down with a blowtorch, and you talk about, I need to secure them.
like, come on, please. Well, last up is the Belko group. Now, I'm not a big fan of like shadowy organizations that pop up at the end of movies with little to no explanation. Like those kind of things always annoy me,
Mm-hmm.
especially when there's no sequel to like give me something more. Because it might be the actor at the end of the movie. Because I don't know, he was a bad person to be the face of the Belko experiment. Like y'all could have got somebody else, somebody a little bit more charismatic. Because I just wasn't feeling it. And I was like, I kind of want another point of this because his explanation wasn't doing it for me. And it
Mm-hmm.
was just like, and why the fuck they in Colombia? Like, what about you, Tuan? What are your thoughts on the Belco Corporation?
I don't know. Like, there wasn't much going on there with them, if we're being quite honest. It
For me, I needed to see, like, instead of seeing that guy, I needed to see, like, board members, something sadistic like that. Like, a bunch of suits watching and observing. Have you seen Squid Games?
Yeah,
I still have to watch that.
I just
What
finished YouTube.
you know how like we get to the last couple episodes in season one, how you have like the rich people watching the games,
Mm-hmm.
watching it unfold. They should have done that with the Belko experiment. Like have like show us like investors and like board members watching it to be like, okay, this is a successful experiment. We're gonna vote yes for the continuation of this or some shit like that. I don't know.
I got you. No, yeah, I know what you mean. Um, yeah, I feel as though we didn't. There wasn't much to go off of with the. I don't want to say like crew. There wasn't much to go off of with what Belko was doing. Like we kind of got. Well, I won't even say we got. We didn't get any hints of anything. Actually, now I'm thinking about it, we didn't get any semblance of what was going on as far as the other experiments and stuff that they were referring to. Like we saw bits of it, but we didn't really get anything else out of it. Yeah, I don't know. Like it just didn't stick as it should have.
With that being said, Twan can give the people the behind the scenes info and facts.
The Belko experiment had a budget of $5 million and brought in a box office of 11.1 million. Some interesting facts. James Gunn came up with the idea for the movie after having a dream. He also wrote the first draft of the script in 2 weeks. James Gunn was originally set to direct this film from a screenplay. However, when it was time to begin, Gunn withdrew, deciding he didn't want to spend several months working on such a violent film. He was also going through a divorce at the time and withdrew from the project. He later said that he was surprised the movie was moving forward with Greg McLean as the new director. If you Google Belko, you'll come across a light page of Belko Corporation with the Facebook link to the movie, but it leads nowhere currently. Some critics' reactions to the film sits at a 54% on Rotten Tomatoes. From Metacritic, the Belko experiment is dumb and not fun. It's just bad filmmaking, and only people who are easily entertained by gore and bad shots and workplace violence will like this movie. It's not thought-provoking, it's kitschy. This is the movie embodiment of the r/gamers rise up subreddit. That's funny. Entertainment Weekly stated, "There's a thin vein of dark humor, but when we get to the nitty-gritty of who's getting killed, it's sour, gruesome stuff, and the pair take great pleasure in turning innocuous office workers into cold-blooded killers."
Well, enough about them. What about us? Elion, Twan, do we cash or pass the Belko experiment? Twan?
Oh,
Like Elian just gracefully said for me, I will be passing on the Belko experiment. It just didn't really stick with me. Like, if you had asked me this like years ago when I first watched this, I probably would have given it a cash. But watching it now, like, it just wasn't. It wasn't nothing there. Like, outside of the base concept of what we got, there wasn't nothing else going on here, and it it could get a little boring. I feel like if you put this on in the background with some friends, like it could be something like watch like that. But outside of that, I probably wouldn't come back to this movie again.
Elion?
I'd just like to repeat my earlier sentiments. I'm definitely just gonna pass this film just because it was just like I felt like there was so much going on. Like it didn't even stay to one whole story besides just besides the voice and the whole building. But then we have like these inside stories. But then after that we get another portion that just didn't make sense. One, there's just fast pacing. Two, and then it just gets all confusing. Like, what was the point of some of these characters? To be fair, but that's the reason why I passed this film.
Well, for me, it's also going to be a pass. Like Elion, I felt like there was nothing going on, but there was also a lot going on, and what was going on made no sense. It didn't connect. The movie, the direction felt like it was fighting and working against the script, and vice versa. The acting wasn't the best. I felt like they focused on the wrong characters. I felt like the wrong character survived. Like this movie has potential, but it wasn't seen through, so it's a pass for me. But the whole reason we're reviewing the Belko experiment was to give us a little soft launch into the Purge franchise, which we will start next week by reviewing the Purge. I have not seen that original Purge in a very long time. I don't know if I'm gonna like it still. But that's for next week. Until then, good night.
If you like this episode, please be sure to check out some from the Haddonfield Horror Cemetery, where we've covered big franchises such as Friday the 13th, Halloween, and Saw, or one-off reviews like The Blackening or Hereditary. You can follow Haddonfield Horrors on Instagram and TikTok, where the host posts updates and mini reviews. Full episodes are available on several podcasting platforms, including Spotify, as well as YouTube. If you're listening to us on YouTube, please be sure to like and subscribe. The Haddonfield Horrors podcast is produced by Mark Smart, Tawan Griffin, and Elion Cordova, themed by Lethal Injection, and edited by Mark Smart.
The Haddonfield Horror Podcast is a Letter to Media production.
Should we do an intro?